You're watching the TCMMA podcast.
The very first fight that we're going to get into today's prediction is Kazama versus Grigoriou. This was a prelim fight. Not quite sure yet because the card hasn't been necessarily restructured. At this point, we believe this is going to be in the main event, but we're not for sure. But nonetheless, you got a 10-4 Kazama taking on an 8-4 Grigoriou. So let's get into that. First and foremost, here we go. Buckle your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. In the bantamweight division at UFC Vegas 95, you got Toshiomi Kazama taking on Charalampos Grigoriou. And I like this fight. Great matchup here. These are always tough divisions to predict, too, as you go lower and lower in weight. Kazama, 10-4. Grigoriou, 8-4. Both guys stand at 5'7". Grigoriou is 32. Kazama, 27. Kazama has a 1-inch reach advantage, and both guys stand right-handed. Making this fight even tougher to predict is neither guy's really that active on the feet. They're both right at, hovering just above 2 significant strikes per minute, which is a terribly slow pace, but that's because they land takedowns, right? Kazama lands 1 every other round. Grigoriou lands 1 every round. So this fight is going to take place on the ground more than likely. Now, Kazama stops 2 out of 3 takedowns. He's got a 66% takedown defense. He's lost back-to-back fights to Rinya Nakamura by first-round KO. He also got KO'd in the first round by Garrett Armfield, so that's not a good look for him. Grigoriou, on the other hand, lost to Chad and Helliger by decision. He did win at the Contender Series. So you got a guy that's coming through the Contender Series, and his opponent, Kazama, came through road to UFC. Right now, though, Grigoriou has 100% takedown defense. In the loss against Helliger, he had 4 takedowns to none, but trailed 85-21 in significant strikes. So he's going to have to pick up the pace in that department, but don't think he can't strike. I mean, he did KO Cameron Smotherman at the Contender Series. So I'm going to lean towards Grigoriou getting the win here. I like the fact that, he does have a KO win on the record. I think he's, going to be a little tougher than Kazama coming through road to UFC. Contender Series is a little bit more high stakes. So that tells me, or at least leads me to believe, because we don't have a lot of fights to look at, that Grigoriou is going to be the stronger fighter here. So I like him to win this fight. He should dominate the ground, but he's just got to pick up the significant strikes in case this goes to a decision. So I look for him to get better in that area. He'll get the win here, in my opinion, with the 9-4 bantamweight division. UFC Vegas 95. Yeah, and that turns out to be a simple prediction for me. Again, with these two fighters, you don't have a lot to go off of. I mean, you just don't. So the bottom line is I'm making my prediction. And sometimes you got to make predictions in off certain things, and it works for you and it works against you. Like when a fight's close and you got a Brazilian in there, I'm going with the Brazilian if I can't make a decision one way or the other. But in this one, you got a road to UFC fighter, and you got a Contender Series fighter, and Contender Series is a much better depiction of what a UFC caliber fight or level that you're going to see compared to road to UFC. And that may backfire on me, but I like Grigoriou to win that fight. Please believe it.
He's gon' fight, he's gon' fight. Hold your breath till the end of the night. Last fighter call, UFC at its height. Bringing that thunder with all his might. Saying, step up, wanna fight? Hold up, think twice. Gladiator assassin, reckless, no abandon. Walk through that cage, he'll leave your ass stranded.